Namaste, I am Bansuri Bliss Founder Dr. Kerry Kriger. We're going to learn how to play the Bansuri, classical music of northern India. It's March 24th, 2024. Welcome. This is the Bansuri Bliss members lesson. Whenever you play two of the same notes in a row, the second time you play it, you're going to have to either tongue it or use a gummit to split the note or take a breath between them so that the notes are clear. Like I cannot say sa twice without using my tongue. Sa, it won't happen. I need to say sa, sa, and do something. So the reason I bring that up, because that was the very first time that I tongued during that whole alap. The section is called alap. Okay, ragas generally start with alap, which is arrhythmic. There's no rhythm. I was playing it slow. There was no hurry at all, especially in this raga, which is Bhoopali Todi, which is a very serious raga. There's definitely no hurry. Okay, so flute players out there who unconsciously use your tongue all the time, two, and make things choppier than they need to be, note that I played that entire lap and I did not tongue any single note. I realized because I was like, hey, that's the first time that I've tongued. I wasn't doing it on purpose. I did it just because I had to do something to play the two saws. All right, let's go back a level. I was planning to teach this raga. I taught the raga yesterday, and then we had some beginners show up, so I didn't want to start with a difficult raga, but it's just in my head because I prepared late last night. I wrote a page of music, and I think we will go ahead and look at it. And here's what we'll do. I'll play everything on it so you can see it, and I'll explain the rhythm so that the reason it's a difficult raga is the fingering on the flute, not because the notes are hard or that the music itself is complex or anything. It's 5 notes. It's a pentatonic scale. It's just like Bhoopali, which if you have spent any time with me, you've probably been exposed to sa, re, ga, pa, da, sa. It also uses sa, re, ga, pa, da, sa. Okay, we're not going to play Bhoopali, but let's just do a recap, because here's what we are going to do. I'm going to play it as written, Bhoopali Todi, with sa, komal re, komal ga, pa, komal da, sa. Alright, so all the notes that can be komal are komal. All the notes that are not immovable have moved to the flat versions of themselves. Alright, sa and pa are not movable. Sa is the first note on our scale. There's no komal sa, there's no tivra sa, there's no sharp or flat sa, or microtone different sa. Okay, same thing with pa. Those are the only two notes that are immovable. The other notes can all be moved. Shid re or komo re, shid ga or komo ga, shid ma or tivra ma. Ma is the only note that has tivra as an option. Ma is the only note where the shid version is the lower of the two. Okay? Sa, komo re, shid ga, shid ma, tivra ma, pa, komo da, shid da, komo ni, shid ni, hi sa. Those are the 12 notes, generally speaking, that we have to choose from. Some would say that the non-movable ones of those have 2 more versions, bringing the total up to 22 options, but we work in 12 possible notes. So right now we've only got 5, right? The raga is pentatonic: sa, komo re, komo ga, pa, komo da, sa. Sa, komo re. Now, if you're brand new to flute, this is not going to be the easiest note. That's why I thought at the start of class, oh, maybe I won't teach Bhoopali Todi if we've got beginners who probably have never played komo ga. All right, so we've got sa, komo re. Now, where is it precisely? You'll have to figure it out. It's not like it's precisely half. I think it's usually a little more than half, but you figure that out based on the sound.
So, komo re is D flat, is it?
Say that again?
Is komo re D flat, like in the Western music?
Well, that's a good question. I'll say, don't even think about Western music, except there's only one note in Western music that's important in Indian classical music, and that's what Western note is sa currently set at. Currently, what's that mean? Because Indian notes are not fixed in frequency like their Western counterparts. A is 440 hertz, or 220 hertz, or 880, or 1760. Do your math, keep doubling or halving it, and you'll be at a different octave of A. That's the only note I know in Western terms, in frequency, in hertz terms, okay? But all we need to know is sa, so that everyone can set their tambours at F plus 32 cents right now, if you want to have a tambour on. F is the only Western note that has any relevance to me when I'm on this flute. Okay? So, but to answer your question, it will depend. The komo re right now, because this is it's at F plus 32, let's just call it F. Komo re is a half step above it. A half step above it is going to be F sharp. All right? So it would only be a D sharp, as you said, if your flute is at D. When I say your flute is at D, it means where's 3 holes closed, sa. If this were a D, that would be a D sharp. Okay? So you can never say komo re is a D sharp, always. It'll depend on your tambour. If I change this, my komo re is going to move with it. We have a whole movable scale. Sa, I can set it here at 440 hertz or wherever, or I can set it here at 572.85 hertz, and everything would shift with it. All right? Let me continue through this. That we've got sa, komo, with our left or upper hand, if you're.
So it's like traditionally, like in Western music, it's like into the G clef, right? The notes.
Stop thinking about Western classical music if you want to learn Bansuri, because it's irrelevant. And it's not just that it's irrelevant, and it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm being a purist, don't think about Western music. There literally is no relevance or even correctness. We don't have the ability to say komo re equals this or sa equals that, because they'll change. When you turn on show me your flute, please. All right, you've got a smaller flute than me. It's higher than F. What is it, a G or an A?
C middle.
C. Okay. All right. We probably don't even need to say middle, because almost nobody plays a big C flute, and no one plays a small flute. So you can just say C.
C, okay.
Your sa is C. Your komo re is different than my komo re, because my sa is F. There literally is no relationship that is possible to say this Western note always equals this Indian note. And when people give a clef, staff, whatever it's called, the 5 lines, when they're trying to explain ragas. That annoys me because, one, it's just wrong, and two, they're always going to C, which is cool. I play piano at C because it's easy to play ragas at C, but it's not even technically correct, because even como re is not the same. It's a different pitch. It's a different distance away from the Western flat second note. So I don't even like mixing them up. There's just, to me, it's just a useless, flawed exercise. So don't think about that. What you need to do is just learn them. There's only 12 of them, and we're usually only using 5, 6, or 7 at a time in any given melody. So you'll get used to them fast. And also print out the Bansuri fingering chart in the what's getting started with Bansuri course. There's a lesson called Bansuri fingering chart. It's 2 pages. Print them out. Put one above the other, because one refers to the high notes on the flute, which you probably don't even need to mess around with anytime soon. Okay, but post them up and look at them, and you'll just get used to where the notes are. All right, so we've got sa, como re, como ga, and then we've got pa, conceptually 6 holes closed, but for middle pa, we're usually going to have this finger near our face is going to be up, at least halfway open, because it'll sound better. All right, so we've got pa, and then como da, a half step up. That's it with the right hand. Those are our choices, this or that. And then we lift up in a big jump up to high sa, a full 2 steps. 1 whole step, 2 whole steps. Let's hear it. As you go higher up the scale, you have to blow harder. All right? Because what's the difference between sa and high sa otherwise? The reverse on the way down. Sa, da, pa, ga, re, sa. Alright, here's my plan. I'm going to teach what I had planned to teach in Bhoopali Todi, this raga that is rarely played by Bansuri players, in part because it's difficult fingering. Okay? But then, we're just going to make all the notes should, and we're going to use sa, re, ga, pa, da, sa. Sa, re, ga, pa, da, sa, da, pa, ga, re, sa. Same notes, but they're going to be should. Pure, natural. It's going to go from very serious to happy. Okay? And it'll be a lot easier for all of you to play. Why are we going to do that? Because we can, and I'll show you what I have planned. This is what I created last night. I think it's the first time I sat down and wrote music directly to Illustrator, which is what I used to write this in a long time. Anyway, this got started because yesterday we started with Bhoopali, and then I thought, hey, let's change it up because we're playing Bhoopali so much here. Let's change it up. Make sure everyone can play Bhoopali Todi. So here's number 1. So just look at this. What is Jhaptal? Dalip. What does Jhaptal mean? I can't hear you.
7 notes.
Nah. Jhaptal is a 10-beat rhythmic cycle. All right. Don't confuse it with rupuk, and even so, we wouldn't describe tals with notes. We'd describe them with beats. All right. So Jhaptal is a 10-beat rhythmic cycle divided 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3. Can you see where this is actually so much easier than telling someone what to write? Hey, just look at it, and when it's cleanly written like this, like you will probably never see on the internet, or you'll find it, like, if you get super lucky, you'll find a Jhaptal composition or anything in Jhaptal written out. and it'll be written out cleanly and correctly. Good luck finding it. Now look at it, and it's so easy to understand the rhythm. Let's get Fallier up here, because Fallier, this is your first ever Bansuri Bliss class, so I'm trying to explain everything as clearly as possible here. Usually we'd probably just be going faster, but I like always being clear, regardless of you know, the lesson. We can always progress and make it more complex. But Fallier, why do you think? Can you explain to me what do you see in the writing here of this one line, knowing that Jhaptal is a 10-beat rhythmic cycle divided 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3?
It would be fair to say I'm only here to observe today because I don't know much of anything.
Which is what I'm expecting, and that's actually why I wanted you to tell me, because for me, this music is so clearly written, and reading Indian classical music is worlds easier than reading Western classical music. And based on you having never been here, probably never heard of Jhaptal or Bhoopali Todi in your whole life, I want you, just like you're a hieroglyphics professor and you ended up in Egypt at the pyramid, and you're trying to, this is like the Rosetta Stone or something, okay? We've never done this before. I've never called on some first-time person to tell me what's written in the Indian classical music, but I think you'll be able to tell me something of value. Just looking at this first line, what can you tell me about this line of music?
The first line of music, we find out that for the first phrase, we have the first note playing, which is the sa.
Okay, so you can tell. You got the first thing right. We've got sa here, right? Yes. Easy to tell because it's just written in Western language. What note is this?
This is the re.
Como re.
Como
right?
re.
It's como re, we know, because it's got a line under it. So for como notes, we put a line under it. Everything here is uppercase or lowercase?
Uppercase.
Correct. So I want you to write everything uppercase too. When people type into a computers, a slightly different system is used, okay? But we don't want to type into a computer unless we have to. We'd rather everything be handwritten or computer correctly written like this, in the handwritten style, okay? And what can you tell me about the rhythm? What do you see rhythmically going on?
The rhythm here, if I'm looking at 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3.
Okay, you are looking at that. Now, does this make sense how it's written? Given that we have a 10-beat rhythmic cycle, divided 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3. What do the vertical bars do for us?
The vertical bars basically give you on top of a phrase, right?
A phrase of 2. Yeah, we could say that. They're splitting up. They're showing us the sections of the rhythm that I keep talking about as a 2. Yep. 1, 2. So what does this thing mean right here?
The pause.
That's a pause, okay, or a hold. There's no new note happening there. Good. That's it. So look how simple Indian music rhythmically can be, as opposed to on staff. You have to know, like, is that thing with a circle, or it's got a bar, or it's a solid circle to determine this. You can't tell what's going. A normal person could never tell what's going on, whereas here it's easy to see the rhythm. So now you know what's the plus sign. That's the first beat of the rhythmic cycle. It's sum. D na D D na T na D D na sum. Okay, so that we're with the tabla player who has their own composition that they're following, which is D na D D na T na D D na, which is, hey, it's already there. D na D D na T na D D na sum 2 3 4 5 Kali 2 3 4 5. The halfway point is called well, it's not always halfway in every type of Indian rhythm, but in Jhaptal it is, okay? And it's denoted with a circle, and it's called Kali. And we wave. If you're keeping beat with your hands, you're not going to clap. Okay, you're going to wave. So, D na D D na T na D D na. We clap on the Kalis and we wave on the Tali. So here's a kali here, there's a kali here. Given that it's the second kali, I could have written a number 2 up there so that it would be +2 kali, and then contrary to expectations that this would be 4, it would be 3 because it's the third clap, the third tali. But I don't write those because it's not necessary. All we need to see is the plus sign and the kali sign, then we can easily tell where we are. This is beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's all we need to know about the written music. Now you should be able to follow this entire page until I explain to you. I can do it right now. If we've got semicircles, half moons underneath them, those are enclosing notes into one beat, meaning if there's 2 notes here, we're going at double speed, and each of these notes is a half beat long. A half plus a half equals 1. So here we've got some double speed stuff. It goes from double to single. Okay? We'll get to that momentarily. Let me turn on, that was a lot of talk, but now you've got a solid understanding of what's going on. I've got this set at 96 beats per minute. You can play it slower if you want. You can play it faster if you want. We could even double the speed and play this as if it were Drut fast Laya. Now it's in Madhya Laya, which means middle speed. Laya means speed, the tempo. So Madhya means middle. Let me go ahead and slow it down. I'll put it at 92. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, some 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1. 2 sets of 5. They're equivalent. They're rhyming like a poem. The only difference between the 2 sets of 5 is that the first starts with a bass note. The second has the treble. Repeat over and over and over and over. Alright, what happened? I played the whole thing. I wrote it out last night. I composed it 24 hours ago during the class. At the very end of the class, I thought, hey, we should come up with a cool, easy to play scale exercise so that everybody gets used to Jhaptal. These exercises are designed to help you identify sum and kali. What's the significance of the sum and kali? That's the only place the notes are falling. All we need to do is blow on one note and be aware enough to count out the 5 beats, the half of the cycle that it occupies, and to be ready to start the next note on the next half of the cycle. Okay, so that our notes are only coming on either sum or kali. We better get used to identifying sum and kali, which in just about any tal are the 2 most important geographical locators inside the rhythmic cycle for us to know where we are. Each successive exercise uses more notes per cycle, so they're probably going to get I won't even say difficult, because for me, holding 5 notes, I don't usually do that, so I have to keep aware to not go faster, okay? But a true statement, each of these we're gonna use more notes. There's gonna be more action going on. Now, what's the other thing to know? We have done an arohi. An arohi is a ascending scale, is the ascending scale of the raga. The ascending scale of Bhoopali Todi is sa, re, ga, pa, da, sa. We've gone up exactly an octave. It's a pentatonic scale. There's 5 unique notes, sa, re, ga, pa, da. Right? But it took 6 half cycles to get to the top. And now we're just going to descend in reverse, beginning with a high sa. Sa, da, pa, ga, re, sa. That's the avarohi, the descending scale. I'm going to play it one more time, and when it's done, I'm going to move on to number 2. Now we're fitting 2 notes into each half of a cycle, right? Sa, a, re, a. And I didn't randomly decide to put the second note on beat 3. I put it there because that's the vibhag, the division is 2 plus 3. So we're going to be playing notes on the first beat of every division, and every division only gets 1 note to it. We can hold it the whole duration. We don't have to breathe before the next note. Ideally, we won't. Ideally, we're not going to go sa, breath, re, breath, ga, breath, da, pa, breath. Okay? Breathe when you need to. And I think the ideal place to breathe is if you can get 1.5 cycles, then you breathe at the top before it descends, and then when you get to the bottom, you breathe before it ascends again. But wherever you need to breathe, that's fine. Just try. What we don't want is an unconscious habit of breathing between every single note. So take a deep breath. You'll hear me say that all the time. Take a deep breath when you can. Take a deep breath. And then consciously, continuously breathe outwards. If you stop blowing outwards, the music will stop, other than the tambora, which is what we've got going in the background, set to F plus 32 cents. All right, let's get our tabla back on. Ooh, I'm going to get some Swarmandal on. I've got an option for a Swarmandal. It just played a melody of Bhoopali Todi, and it's set to repeat every 30 seconds. I'll even turn it down in volume. It doesn't have to. It should just be background. I did that, I did the entire ascent in 1 outward breath, and I did the entire descent in 1 outward breath, meaning I played 3 cycles in 1 breath. I don't expect you to be able to do that, okay? But you can, and I'd rather it be that way. If I don't have to breathe, I probably don't want to breathe, because I like the music to keep on coming out. I like long phrases on a Bansuri. But you breathe when you have to breathe. What else is going on there? You've got all that time. You should be thinking, is my tone good on this note? Am I in pitch on this note? I could tell when I came to that final como re, it was not as I would hope. That means the next time, because these, you don't just stop and congratulate yourself. You keep going, repeat. When you get to here, you come back to here on the next beat. Do it over and over. If you like meditation, hey, these are perfect. Scale exercises are perfect. You just go up and down and up and down and up and down, and you keep doing it. And make sure every time you do it that it gets a little bit better, that you fix that thing that you didn't like the last time, or that didn't work out well the last time. Let's move on to number 2. that time. On the second time, did I do? I think I did 2 full cycles. And on the final ascent, I breathed every 5 beats, and it sounded perfectly fine. Sa, re, ga, pa, da, sa. On the descent, I came all the way down without breathing. All right, let me stop right there and take any questions. I think I've been extremely clear. Really, I can't imagine being more clear on this. I usually don't get so in depth on every aspect of the music that I can think of. So let's see. Dalip, are you understanding this?
Yes, yes.
Okay. As I started this lesson with, musically, this raga is straightforward. It's every bit as simple musically as Bhoopali. Okay, but fingering for a Bansuri player is tricky. All right, and we just heard that. It's hard to get our pitch correct because we have to figure out where to be, and it's usually more closed. The hole has to be more closed than most Bansuri players find it easy to do. All right, is my sound back and normal again? Okay, I'm going to continue. I lost my train of thought. We'll see where. We need to be able to identify the sum in the kali so that we're not just clapping in mid space for no reason, randomly ending up on who knows what note. Okay, and why is the kali, Morley, can you tell me why is kali so easy to identify relative to the other beats?
Because it doesn't have bass in it.
Correct. It's the only note that's a T. T is the name of the note. It sounds different, right? Now D, na doesn't have bass either. Bass, treble, bass, bass, treble, tss, treble, bass, bass, treble. Okay, I just made 3 different notes of it. We need to identify the kali. So I need you to tell me when the kali's coming. Or you need to spend some time. It's going to take some time. I should not expect that everyone can, hey, you just can count Jhaptal. I think it's simple in theory. Hey, it's 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3. I just need to know, am I at sum 2, 1, 2, 3, or kali 2, 1, 2, 3, clap, and I start. But you're going to have to turn on your tabla machine, and you're going to have it going on repeat and listen to it a whole lot. And if you need to, you look at when it tells you some, like it will start doing it if I don't touch it for a little bit. But you shouldn't be looking at it really. You should be able to listen to it, but as needed. But what I like to do, if needed, when there's no tabla and you hit the button, you start counting with it. I know it's going to play some right when I click it. Sum 2, 3, 4, 5. Kali 2, 3, 4, 5. Sum. Boom. Kali. Boom. Sum. Here we go. Counting on the hands. Okay. Clap, index, clap, pinky, ring, wave, index, clap, pinky, ring, clap, index. What did I say last week? I said counting on your hands. If there's only 2 notes and 2 beats in the vibhag, which is the case here, it's a 2 plus a 3. Then the second beat gets an index. That's the rule. If there's only 2 beats in this division. Clap, index, clap, pinky, ring. And I said if there's 3 beats or 4 or 5 beats in the division, then we're going to use a pinky and a ring for the beats after the tali. The tali is the clap. All right, so we're going to clap at the start of each division unless it's a kali, which is beat 6. I don't expect you to remember everything going on here. I don't expect any of you to remember or perfect everything going on here. This is just an introduction. I'm only stating the fundamentals and the common things that you're going to hear, whether you go to a different teacher or they may not express it and clarify, but you have a high chance of seeing any of these concepts elsewhere in North Indian classical music. How to count on your hands. Every tabla player is going to learn to do these things. Okay, and probably any professional level classical Indian musician. Do I do it well? Not too well, but I'm trying. I still have to think about it because I haven't practiced in a while. 1, 2, 3, sum 2, 1, 2, 3, Kali 2, 1, 2, 3, clap, index, clap, pinky, ring, wave, index, clap, pinky, ring. Sum, Kali, sum. All right. However you do it, you're gonna have to get used to the rhythm. Now let's I can keep going. Should I finish this page? One of the questions was, can I get a copy of this? First off, bansuribliss.com/academy. I've got tons of courses up there. I don't know if you've looked at it, but on that page you'll be able to scroll down to Bhoopali Todi, and I'll put this PDF up there in right when the class ends. But meanwhile, yes, I will even just put it in the Zoom chat here.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would it be okay?
In the chat, it's there. Sorry, 1 second. Create a folder on your computer called music. Create a folder in there called ragas. Create a folder in there called Bhoopali Todi. Create a folder in there called the name of this file. Or that may be too far, but whatever it is, have music, ragas, name of raga gets a folder, and you put your files in there, and then you'll always be able to find what you're looking for. All right, Morley, back to you. Back to F plus 32 cents. Morley, you had a question?
Just counting Jhaptal. And would it be incorrect to count it 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2?
That would be perfect because 2 plus 3 are the magic numbers. Yes, you could count to 10. I mean, officially it's 10 beats.
Right.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, here's how I do it. I like to not go above the number 4 in music. I usually don't have to go above the number 4, and I can just have a visual marker. I'm in the first half. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, sometimes I was saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes sense because I've got 5 beats in each half of the cycle. But I could also just do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 because it's always a 2 and then a 3. In Jhaptal, there's 2 and there's 3. And it's going to happen over and over hundreds of thousands of times in your life if you play a lot of Indian classical music. Okay? And I can just know, am I on the 1 or the 2, meaning the first half of the cycle or the second half of the cycle. So I don't need the number 9 in my head when I can be using small numbers. Small numbers are easier. That's why we start down here. We don't go from a million backwards or anything like that. We start small because smaller numbers are always easier. So keep it simple. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's simplify this. We've got fingers. I'll even just pick a hand. Can everyone snap? Is there anyone who cannot make a sound when they snap? I put my 2 finger. Hey, I've never taught this. How to snap? Okay, middle finger there. This finger's kind of like tightened up, and I just bring it down and I get a snap. Okay. You could even do that, but that's even harder. Don't do that because also it's not good for your hands probably. But this. Hopefully you can snap, but you can snap, you can clap, or you can tap with your foot. Okay? Whatever you want to do. Let's make a sound on the vibhag, on the first of each division. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm using volume to show you what the first beat is. All right, it's going to be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And let's forget about the difference between sum and Kali. So really, we're just going to make a 5-beat cycle, okay? And we're going to say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 so that we get used to the 2s and the 3s. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We're only going to make a sound on the 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Everyone can everyone do that? Just let's take 30 seconds. Everyone's on mute. I'll even mute myself so you don't hear me confusing you. We're just gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's what I was doing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
That is
1, 2, 3. Now, why are we doing it? Say it again.
What do you call it? The gallop? What's the term you use?
For what?
Emphasis on the.
Oh, I was just saying there's more volume. Oh, it's on the vibhag. I mean, maybe the vibhag is the whole space of where the two fit, but I refer to like on the beat, on the division, on the vibhag. That means, to me, it means on the first beat of that vibhag. Okay, of the division. I'm not sure what the precise terminology. Oh, it's on the tali or on the kali. These are all on talis because we just made a 5-beat. If you clap, it's the tali. That's the name. If you wave, it's the kali. So we're just doing tali, boom, tali, boom, boom, tali, boom, tali, boom.
Yeah,
Whereas for Jhaptal, it would be a tali, boom, boom, kali, boom, tali, boom, boom. But if you can keep a beat that's 2 plus 3, which we were doing at it in its simplest form, then this should start to make sense when you hear. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Good exercise. Do it with your tabla now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Somebody, I'm going to turn my sound off. Someone unmute yourself. Turn on your tabla and your tambora in Jhaptal. Put it at 92 beats per minute. And with that on, let's hear you say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, or tap, or clap, or snap, or do it both. You can make your clap, tap, snap sound and be counting 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 with the tabla. And now, then once you have that, the only thing you'll need to do is differentiate between the sum half and the kali half. Don't worry, you had it much better. What I heard was that, okay, is it perfect? No. But for a while, it was way better than it was before. And that comes just from, without the tabla, can a person actually just clap their hands on the first and the third beat of the 5? Meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But just say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If you can do that on repeat, then eventually you're going to hear where, oh, that's sum. And if you don't remember, just hit everything on, hit your tabla on and start counting right then, and you'll know where sum is. Sum 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, this is how you get used to Jhaptal. Should you be even messing around with Jhaptal if you're an absolute beginner and you've never learned Teental? Maybe so, maybe not. I thought about that. I was like, hey, maybe Rohan and Fallier are going to be the best Jhaptal students that I've ever taught because they started with Jhaptal, whereas and didn't have to hear me being like, oh, Jhaptal's hard. You shouldn't do this yet. Right? Maybe you should do it. It's one of the most common tals. How hard is it? 2 plus 3? All those numbers are smaller than the 4 that we have to count to in Teental. All right, let's go back. Let's look at this thing because I promise you we were gonna convert to an easy version of this lesson because, as I said, Bhoopali Todi, not the easiest raga that there is. All right, so I could continue and play all these before I switch. Let me just do that. I'm going to play 3 through 7, but then I'm going to switch the whole thing to Bhoopali so that everyone can play these all. How are we going to switch it to Bhoopali? We're just going to remove the comal lines. we're going to imagine the Como lines are not underneath the re, the ga, and the da, and everything will be should. And I'm probably just going to duplicate this file, remove the word Bhoopali from the top, and remove those underlines. And then, hey, I got another lesson to add to the site, and I'll put it in Bhoopali in the Jhaptal section there, so that people don't wait like 4 years before they arrive at this lesson in the advanced section. But for anyone learning Jhaptal, these were designed to help you get used to Jhaptal, because everything is perfectly split into 5 beats. Okay, everything's falling. It's not. I did not create these in any kind of random manner. Let's hear them. I'll start with number 2, and then I'll just go through the page. Kali 2, 3, 4, 5. Each is intended to be played on repeat. So I'll play each of them twice. It's not my intention that you just go through this page top to bottom and then you're like, oh, I'm done. I played it all straight through. Now pick one and just put it on repeat. They're all independent of each other. Though you could go through the whole page and do it if you want, straight in a row. 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. That was number 5. Now let's do number 6. What's the rhythm on number 6? Let's look at it. 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3. Sa re ga pa da sa da pa da ba ga re sa. Ta taka dimi ta taki 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 ta taki ta. Number 7. All right, as I said, each successive exercise uses more notes per cycle. Taki let's count the numbers here. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. right, good. That's a whole page of music. I like it a whole lot. And I like this raga a whole lot. And what would we do with this? We would put it away and we would play our composition, which I have a lesson on the site in the Bhoopali Todi course, and it's also up on YouTube for anyone out there. Bansuri Bliss YouTube channel. Twos and threes and Jhaptal. Okay. That was fun. Now, let's change the whole thing to Bhoopali. Now our fingers get really easy. Okay, sa, re, ga. That's it for the left hand. Sa, re, ga. Pa. Remember, this finger closest to our chin comes up for middle pa, but conceptually 6 holes closed. Da. Look at that little switch going on. From pa to da, 5 fingers closed, and then sa is Bhoopali. It's easy to play. And now, let's even change our Swarmandal so that I don't have Bhoopali Todi in the background. Now I've got Bhoopali in the background. One and two and one and two and three and one and two and one and two and three and hey, cool little Allen card just made up in Jhaptal in Bhoopali. Sada paga, re sa twice. Right? Then it'll fit in a cycle because we're going at double speed. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3. And then I lifted it up. Re sa da ba ga re sa da ba ga re. Right, but that was not my goal. My goal was to take this and to put it into Bhoopali. Let's turn on Jhaptal. I don't know if I'm going to play these straight through or put them on repeat or what. Let's find out. And then we'll call this the end of the lesson. Thanks for staying on. Long lesson. I hope you learned a lot because I taught a lot. And any questions, this is your chance to chat it in. Or when I finish this, if you're still around, you can unmute yourself and ask or tell us what you think. Kali 2, 1, 2, 3. before. Five. Kali. With tongue on every note if you want. That last time I did it like that, but usually not. But you can certainly practice it that way. Six. 7. I'd call this datum. Alright, I don't usually use that term in melodic music, but in rhythm, datum is when everything's filled up. There's no spaces. I could do that, and then I can really hear the rhythm, and so can all the listeners. I don't have to do that. I usually won't do that, but two woo woo, two woo woo, two woo, two If you want it more rhythmic, more percussive. Why do I say two? Because that's the motion we're going to make with our tongue. All right, that was fun. Now, everybody out there, we've turned a difficult to play raga into an easy to play raga, at least, you know, relatively fingering wise. Bhoopali. We still have to deal with the fact that it's Jhaptal, but hey, this more than any lesson I've ever seen in my entire life that I've prepared or that I've seen anywhere ever in 28 years of playing Indian classical music daily. This will prepare you for Jhaptal better than any lesson I've ever found anywhere. Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay, let me unshare my screen. Hey, it's us again. We're still recording. Hopefully you got a good recording of this. I'll put it up on YouTube. I usually don't put these members' lessons up there, but we've got my good camera today, and we've got good audio sound, and we've got written out music that's easy to read. All right, Worko. We're at the end of this. Maybe you can tell us what your name is, because I'm guessing it's not Worko, because I don't remember any Worko Bansuri Bliss member.
My name is Werner Kohler.
Werner Kohler, okay. Welcome. Thanks for showing up. I'm not sure. Maybe I just couldn't see because my screen was shared. I couldn't see who was here or how long you've been here. Can you give us a brief introduction? Who are you? Where are you? What's your musical experience?
Well, my musical experience is pretty much zero.
Okay.
But I fell in love with the Indian classical music, and I decided to pick up the flute. And I've been playing around with it for quite a while now. and I'm really not making much progress, at least
You're
not
not making much progress just playing around without anyone who knows how to
that
play giving you advice.
I'm still focused on trying to get the clear sound
Okay.
out of my
All
flute.
right. And
Now,
you have not taken any lessons.
no,
You
not
watch YouTube videos, or how have you attempted to learn?
well, some through YouTube and some just on my own because
Okay.
you don't, I get some sound, but it's not to my satisfaction, and
Okay.
and it's not consistent.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, if you consistently show up at these lessons, which take place every Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. Los Angeles time, then you will consistently, and if you consistently practice, ideally daily, then you will find consistent improvement. That's my guarantee. So, anyone trying to learn Bansuri by yourself without anyone to give you advice, and just as important, to hear you play and give you feedback, good luck improving. It's fine if you just that's how you want to do things.
One more thing,
Yes.
I've I'm currently using a C flute, C natural, because
Okay.
of the finger, the right hand position of the finger.
Because it's a relatively small flute and that makes it
The
easy for
relatively
you to
small.
play. That's a good idea. I'm perfectly fine with you doing that. And until you are comfortable on your C, you shouldn't even mess around with a bigger flute. But once you're comfortable with your C, you've been playing it, no problem, then it's time to get probably a higher quality flute and a larger, or it's one flute. Make your next flute bigger and of higher quality if you did not get a world class flute as your first flute, which most people don't, which is perfectly fine. Start on any flute. Your next flute, you'll know a little bit more. But are you comfortable playing the C?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
finger-wise, yes.
Do you want to play anything right now?
Uh, no.
Okay, next time.
The
And
two
then,
times I attempted to play for somebody, nothing came out.
all right. Well, I may be able to help you on that, but let's save it for the next time. I'll be on this Wednesday. It will be March 27th at 5 p.m. Los Angeles time. That's Bansuri Bliss office hours, free for anybody to attend. Go to bansuribliss.com/office-hours. And otherwise, I'm on every Saturday and Sunday for Bansuri Bliss members lessons. Saturday tends to be beginner class. Sunday tends to be advanced class. Today was somewhere in between. I'll say we covered some very advanced topics, but in a very this is probably the first time you're hearing these kind of way, so I went in depth explaining them. And then we made it simpler at the end by changing the raga to Bhoopali, which is easy fingering. All right, that's it. I'm going to end. I am Bansuri Bliss Founder Dr. Kerry Kriger. Thanks for being here. We've been playing Bhoopali Todi and Bhoopali in Jhaptal. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy your Bansuri playing. Bye.
Nice to meet everybody.